Hey everybody, wake up. This is Wake Up with Mark Joyner, episode number 107. And today we will talk about hustling while you wait. Okay, so this quote has been attributed to many people, but as far as I can best tell, the origin is Thomas Edison. And he says, everything comes to him who hustles while he waits. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean? Well, think about how most people are spending their time. They're sitting around playing Candy Crush, answering Facebook messages, doing all kinds of inane things on their phone, catching up on the news, whatever the news actually is these days. Goodness knows. I certainly can't tell you. They're not doing things that are moving them toward who they want to become, what they want to have, what they want to do. So I'll tell you a story. So recently I was on a date, and forgive me if I give a little too much information about this kind of thing. I go on a few dates from time to time. I'm known to do that. I'm not going to pretend like that's not who I am. Sometimes people are late, right? So I like to be ready. Now, normally what I'll do is I will bring my laptop somewhere. If I don't have my laptop, I'll have things on my phone that I can do that are practical. So if someone shows up late, just for example, last week, I was waiting for this woman to show up, and she was about 45 minutes late. And when she finally arrived, I was completely unfazed by it, because I was there working at my computer, and she was like so apologetic. That's nice to be apologetic for it. Nice to recognize that you're potentially wasting someone's time. But she's like, aren't you annoyed? And I was like, no, I was busy. I was just getting stuff done. And she kept asking me, she's like, I'm so surprised that you're not bothered. Like, why doesn't it bother you? And I'm like, well, what use is it going to do for me if I get bothered by the fact that you're late? Yes, I've taken note of it. If you make a habit of it, I probably won't spend too much time with you, right? However, things happen. Sometimes it's understandable. It's not always that somebody is trying to deliberately test you or disrespect your time. It could be any number of things. I told her, I said, look, don't make a habit of it, but I'm never going to put myself in a situation where I'm sitting around wasting time. I had my computer open. I was getting work done, So this is why in Simpleology, at the end of Start My Day, you have a list of clear daily targets. These are intelligently chosen things that are going to bring you closer to what you want in your life, closer to who you want to be, closer to what you want to have. I have that all figured out because I did start my day at Simpleology. I wasn't sitting there going, well, how am I going to use my time now? No, I got that figured out. I got that pre-planned. That's part of the whole idea behind Simpleology. There are a great many benefits that you get from using the system on a day-to-day basis. That is but one of them. Now, if I don't have my computer with me, I will at least have my phone. And inside Simpleology, there's an app, a Simpleology app, and I can see what my daily targets list is. If there is anything I can take care of on the phone, I will do that. And then worst case scenario is I might just jump on Facebook and catch up on some messages because I am woefully behind on messages. And by the way, this is why I don't always reply to everything on Facebook. I don't reply to every single comment. I don't like or have an opinion on every single comment. I've even had people come to me and say, how could you let that comment stand on your Facebook post? Somebody posted something that was quite rude or egregious for whatever reason. And I've got one particular friend who likes to act like the police of my Facebook page and is always commenting on what I comment on and what I don't comment on. And I think it's quite funny. It's like, why do you care so much? And why are you ascribing a meaning to it? Anyway, I do like to keep up, with my friends as much as I can. But most of my friends, especially my longest friends, the friendships that have lasted the longest, understand this is who I am. I'm not always going to be the chat buddy. In fact, I'm almost never going to be the chat buddy. There's a handful of people, that I will, get on video chat with, or like have, chit chat back and forth with. These are some of my closest people, and if I don't do that with you, by the way, and if you're somebody who's my friend and I know, don't be offended. It's not, I'm not ranking you guys. You know what I mean? It's not like that. It's just the fact that I have things that I want to accomplish in my life, and I want to spend every moment. This is the key, guys. Every moment that I have available to me, I am utilizing it. I will tell you something very personal, all right? So, I've made no secret of the fact that at 50 years old, I do testosterone replacement therapy, okay? So this is going to get a little bit gross for somebody who is a little bit squeamish, okay? So that means you got to give yourself an intramuscular injection, okay? You can go to a doctor and get it done, but I have enough knowledge and skill to be able to do it for myself. I'm a big boy, okay? And I will do that after I take a shower. That's how I plan that. So when I'm in the shower, I usually have a book on tape going, something that is programming my mind, something dumping positive information into my head. And when I am giving myself, an injection, I am listening to the same thing, right? I'm almost never just wasting my time. Now, there are times when it's nice to unwind. For example, last night my roommate showed me, these Oculus VR headset. Like, I had played some of these before, but I had never been on the Oculus. And these games are fun, right? And the Oculus, man, I gotta tell you, it's pretty damn impressive, right? I was pretty blown away when I first got in this thing. I was like, man. But before I started, I told him, I said, dude, I'll play the game, but I'm gonna limit myself to 5 minutes. Now, it ended up being about 15 because it was a lot of fun, and we ended up chit-chatting a lot. But that's the thing. I knew that if I did not put that idea in my mind that I had to cut myself off, I could have found myself playing that game, up until the wee hours of the morning, and then where would I be, right? I would have just, killed all that time that could have been spent recovering my body and healing myself, and then, recharging my brain and my body so that I could perform physically and mentally at my peak. So that's why I had to cut that off. Now, does that mean I'm never going to play games? No, I'm going to play these things from time to time, but I have to intelligently plan that stuff during time windows where it makes sense for me to do it. It is a non-negotiable thing for me to go to sleep early at night. I succeed better at that on some days than others, but I plan to sleep at 8 p.m. every night. If I'm not in bed at 8 p.m., like, last night, I came back from something a little bit late. So I ended up sleeping at about 10. Okay, so that just means that I just slept a little bit early, but I was up in time to watch the sunrise. I have a drop dead alarm that always goes off every day, no matter what time I go to sleep. I got to make sure that I get the sunrise in my eyes, because I know that is going to help me sleep better that night. And it's also going to, boost my neurotransmitter production in my body. At least we know for a fact dopamine and melatonin are stimulated by morning sunlight, which is one of the reasons why I do that particular routine. So I encourage you to start thinking about how you are spending your time, especially your idle moments. Most of us are sitting around waiting for things. If you got to go to the doctor these days, you're going to be sitting around in the waiting room. Do you have a plan for what you're going to do in those moments so that you can hustle while you wait? Because if you do, you're going to get to where you want to go. You are going to be who you want to be. You are going to have what you want to have a lot faster than the guy who just sits around and says, well, I guess it's Candy Crush time. Craziness. Don't do that craziness. All right, you guys have a beautiful day, and I will talk to you all tomorrow.